The Cry of the Halidon by Robert Ludlum. Copyright 1974 by Jonathan Ryder. Introduction, copyright 1996 by Robert Ludlum. This recording of the full-length reading of The Cry of the Halidon was published by arrangement with Robert Ludlum and Henry Morrison, Incorporated, as agent, and was produced in 1996 by Books on Tape, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Neither this recording nor any part thereof may be reproduced or used for any purpose without prior written authority from Books on Tape, Incorporated. This book is read by Michael Pritchard. The Cry of the Halidon by Robert Ludlum. This book consists of 4 parts and 35 chapters, and is 430 pages long. The following material appears on the dust jacket of the book. Alex McAuliff has received an offer he can't refuse: $2 million for a geological survey of Jamaica's dark interior. All Dunstone Limited requires is his time, his expertise, and his absolute secrecy. No one, not even McAuliff's hand-picked team, can know of Dunstone's involvement. But British intelligence is aware of the deal, and they've let Alex in on a secret of their own. The last survey team Dunstone dispatched to Jamaica vanished without a trace. Now it's too late to turn back. Alex already knows about Dunstone, which means he knows too much. From the moment he lands in Jamaica, Alex is a marked man. But who wants him dead? Dunstone? A rival company? Or British intelligence? Here in an island paradise where even a beautiful woman might be a spy, every move could be his last, and his only clue to survival is a single mysterious word: Halidon. First published under the pseudonym Jonathan Ryder, The Cry of the Halidon is vintage entertainment from suspense master Robert Ludlum. Robert Ludlum is the author of 20 novels published in 32 languages and 40 countries, with worldwide sales in excess of 200 million copies. His works include The Scarlatti Inheritance, The Osterman Weekend, The Matlock Paper, The Rhineman Exchange, The Gemini Contenders, The Chancellor Manuscript, The Road to Gandolfo, The Holcroft Covenant, The Matterese Circle, The Bourne Identity, The Parsifal Mosaic, The Aquitaine Progression, The Bourne Supremacy, The Icarus Agenda, Travaine, The Bourne Ultimatum, The Road to Omaha, The Scorpio Illusion, and The Apocalypse Watch. He lives with his wife, Mary, in Florida and Connecticut. Dedication. For all those who in strictest confidence helped me research this novel so many years ago. You know who you are, and I'm still forever grateful. Introduction. A number of years ago, a quarter of a century to be precise, an author barely in his 40s was so exuberant over the fact that he had actually published 2 novels that, like an addict, he relentlessly pursued the source of his addiction. Fortunately, it was the narcotic of writing, chemically not dangerous, mentally an obsession. That obsessed author, me, is now far older and only slightly wiser. And I was exhilarated until I was given a gentle lecture by a cadre of well-meaning publishing executives. I was stunned, wall-eyed and speechless. Apparently it was the conventional wisdom of the time that no author who sold more than a dozen or so books to his immediate family and very close friends should write more than 1 novel a year. If he did, he would automatically be considered a hack by readers and critics alike. I loved this last dual persona as expressed. Such writing giants of the past came to mind, like Dickens, Trollope, and Thackeray, fellows who thought nothing of filling up reams of copy for monthly and weekly magazines, much of said copy excerpts from their novels in progress. Perhaps, I thought silently, hack had a different meaning then, like in He Can't Hack It, which implies that to hack is good, as opposed to He's a hack, obviously pejorative. It was all too confusing, and, as I mentioned, I was speechless anyway, so I said nothing. Nevertheless, I was the new kid on the block, more precisely on Publishers' Row. I listened to my more experienced betters, and submitted the Cry of the Halidon as written by someone called Jonathan Ryder, actually the first name of one of our sons, and a contraction of my wife's stage name when she was a popular actress in New York and its environs. I'd be foolish to deny the influence this novel had on subsequent books, for it was the first time I actively forced myself to research obscure history, along with the roots of myth, as opposed to well-documented, if difficult to unearth, historical records. For me it was terrific. My wife Mary and I flew to Jamaica, where most of the novel was to take place. I was like a kid in a giant toy store. There was so much to absorb, to study. I even stole real names before I learned you weren't supposed to do that without permission. For example, Timothy Durrell, the first character we meet in the book, actually was the youngest and brightest manager of a large international resort that I'd ever met. Robert Hanley is a pilot in the novel, and was as well in everyday life. Among other detours, Bob ferried Howard Hughes around the Caribbean, and was on Errol Flynn's payroll as his private pilot when the motion picture star lived in Jamaica. Other liberties I really should not reveal, on advice of counsel. Of course, research is the dessert before an entree, or, conversely, the succulent shrimp cocktail before the hearty prime rib, the appetizer leading to serious dining. It is also both a trap and a springboard. A trap, for it ensnares one in a world of geometric probabilities that an author resists leaving, and a springboard, for it fires one's imagination to get on with the infinite possibilities a writer finds irresistible. The first inkling I had regarding the cross-currents of deeply felt Jamaican religiosity and myth came when my wife and I took our daughter, along with the regal lady who ran the kitchen at our rented house, to a native village market in Port Antonio. Our young daughter was a very blonde child, and very beautiful. Still is. She became the instant center of attention, for this was indeed a remote thoroughfare, and the inhabitants were not used to the sight of a very blonde white child. The natives were delightful, as most Jamaicans are. They're gentle, filled with laughter and kindness and intelligent concern for the guests on their island. One man, however, was none of these. He was large, abusive, and kept making remarks that any parent would find revolting. The people around him admonished him. Many shouted, but he simply became more abusive, bordering on the physical. I'd had enough. Having been trained as a Marine, and far younger than I am now, I approached this offensive individual, spun him around, hammerlocked his right arm, and marched him across the dirt road to the edge of a ravine. I sat him down on a rock and vented my parental spleen. Suddenly he became docile, trance-like, then started to chant in a sing-song manner words to the effect of, "The Halidon, the Halidon, all is for the Halidon." I asked him what he was talking about. "You can never know, man. It is not for you to know. It is the Holy Church of the Halidon. Obia, Obia. Give me money for the magic of the Halidon." I realized he was high on something. Grass, alcohol, who knows. I gave him a few dollars and sent him on his way. An elderly Jamaican subsequently came up to me, his dark eyes sad, knowing. "I'm sorry, young man," he said. "We watched closely and would have rushed to your assistance should you have been in danger." "You mean he might have had a gun? A weapon?" "No, never a gun. No one allows those people to have guns. But a weapon, yes. He frequently carries a machete in his trousers." I swallowed several times, and no doubt turned considerably paler than I had been. But the episode did ignite the fuses of my imagination. From there, and courtesy of Bob Hanley and his plane,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?